Hey guys! So it's been quite some time since I last talked about my Midori Traveler's Notebook, and I thought now would be a good time to sort of update you on how I've been using it since the last video that I made was when I was just sort of starting to live in it a bit, but it's been a while, so I figured I would do another one of these videos. Well, there's a couple noticeable differences from my last video, and the first is that it is very, very scuffed. You can really see all of the marks that the leather takes. And this isn't a bad thing, I don't think. I do quite like that it looks lived in, but there are a couple marks that bother me, like these ones down here. I don't really know where they came from. They just popped up one day and didn't really scuff out too nicely. Like, I don't really mind these little liney sort of scuffs. But surprisingly enough, the charm on the front didn't really leave that much compared to the rest of it. But I have carried this around quite a bit, so it has taken a beating. The charms on the side are essentially the same. This, I had like a little plane that was next to it, but it kept falling off, so eventually I just stuck with this. This actually was originally a pin, but it kept falling off, and the pin itself on the back of it had snapped. So what I ended up doing is I have like a drill bit, so I sanded down the other end and I used cement to secure this to the journal itself. It is pretty thick, but it doesn't really interfere with writing. Like when you lay it back on its side, you can't really feel that it's there. And I think it's a nice addition, and also I didn't want to lose it because I was worried about, I had repaired the pin itself a couple times, and I didn't want it to fall off and lose it somewhere, because that had happened to another pin that I really liked, and this one I wouldn't be able to get again. And it's been here for like a couple months, and it is very secure. I just used some, I don't remember the exact brand, but it was some kind of cement glue, and it worked great. It stays put. This is metal, this is leather, and yeah, I think it's a nice touch. I think it looks nice. So I added a pocket to the front cover, and in that pocket I keep whatever this thing is, the shiitake writing board. And then this is my dashboard. It's pretty much the same. These kind of get knocked around. I have a couple clothes in there. And I also I've started using like used stamps for my like journal spreads, and also my weekly planner insert. So these are just used, they're very cheap stamps. Like, I think it was like $1 for like a whole set. So it's actually cheaper than stickers. So I really like using them. I just sort of, the actual adhesive on the back of the stamp isn't there anymore, but I just use like glue and it works fine. This is my sketchbook insert. I'm going to do sort of a quick flip through of this, and I'm just going to sort of keep talking as I'm doing it. I don't think I'm going to continue using this as a sketchbook, just because I feel like it took me months to fill this, and I didn't draw nearly as much just because I wanted it to look nice. And I didn't want to like use up the paper. After a while I was able to get sort of more messy with it and just like fill in the pages, but I don't know, it took me a while to adjust to this long size. I'm sort of used to like big square sketchbooks where like it's this height, but like it goes out maybe like twice the size. So I felt like I was kind of scared to draw on it at first, so that's why it took me so long to fill it. But the paper itself, this is just the plain Midori insert. It's not even a sketchbook insert, and the paper works great. Like, if you can see, this is marker, and it doesn't bleed through at all. And before, one of these pages, this is acrylic paint, and like, I mean, this was like my mistake, but like it makes the paper a little like weightier, yeah, but like it holds it relatively well. And then like I was amazed at how well it just holds like ink in general. Cause like this is Copics, and like I feel like it doesn't bleed nearly as much as regular paper. And this is pure just like ink, and like there's just a tiny bit of ghosting, but it really doesn't go through that much. See, like this one of the first pictures that I did in here of ink, you can't even see it on the other side. But it did take from April to August to finish this tiny insert, and I don't know, I feel like this is probably going to be the last time I use a sketchbook insert in my traveler's notebook, just because, here, I have it right here, so I might as well show you. This is the sketchbook that I've since switched to, and it's still like relatively small, but like you can see how much bigger each individual page size is as compared. So, I don't know, it was a good experience. I do like how it came out, but I think it turned into like more like journal spread sketches. Anyways, this is the next insert I have in here, which is a handmade insert. And I just have this like thick scrapbook paper that I used, and then on the inside is this 5-star Mead graph paper. And I really love this paper, so I was glad that I was able to use it. I just sort of cut it up and made this notebook. Granted, this insert, the edges aren't as clean as I would like it to be, and it is significantly smaller than the regular insert size, and that is because I messed up and then I kept cutting it, and then I was like, you know what, it's just gonna be a little weird on the edges, but I can't make it any smaller. So that was lesson learned. But I started using it as just sort of like notes, just like misc text and notes and whatnot. And then I started using it as more of like an art journal. And I really, really like how these pages came out. And I used to use my Hobonichi Techo for art journaling, but it filled up like really, really fast. And that's all I have thus far. This was in my last journaling video. But the problem with the Hobonichi Techo is because it was 365 pages and it was the Tomo River paper, it's very thin when you first get it, but when you start like gluing in tons of stuff like this, like these are like on high grade like photo paper, and like I like glue miscellaneous things in here, like this is from like a tea package, I don't know what's it called. But when my journaling style tends to be I stick a lot of physical things in there, and it just got so thick that I couldn't use it anymore. But what I like about this is I love the paper quality, because I've always used the 5-star Mead graph paper for other things, and I just really like how it looks and how it does bleed through a little bit with like calligraphy pens and whatnot. But with what I'm doing, it works, because I end up just covering that ghosting with like pictures and stuff like that. So it's been working well for me, and I really like this size for journaling purposes, just not necessarily for sketching purposes. But I look forward to continuing with that. And then this insert is my planner insert. And this is the official Midori planner, like undated version. So I didn't know what I was going to do with this. So I started like going sort of day by day, but then I just ended up using this as like a journal page. Because I don't know, I didn't like the format of it, and I would never look at these pages. But then I started using this as like a mix of like planning and like sort of recording my days. And you can see it goes back and forth between like text and like art, like doodles and stuff. The quality of this paper is really nice, so it doesn't bleed through at all, because this is like watercolors and it just doesn't show through. But what I've noticed is that this paper is significantly better quality than this paper, which I find kind of weird. So like if I have extra space on here, I can't draw in it because it bleeds through. And I don't know why they would use two different grades of paper in the same book. But that kind of annoyed me. Everything else about it I really enjoy, but I don't know, that was weird to me, because like I like doing these little like sketches and stuff, but I couldn't do them on this page, which this is graph paper and this is just sort of blank, so I kind of would prefer to be able to draw on this page, but it just like seeps through. See how nice, like this is marker, doesn't show through at all. But even like the I don't know if you can, it really picks up on it that well, but I started using these big numbers. I had this like stencil, and I don't remember what marker I used, but it does go through a little bit to this side, which is weird to me. Because there's no ghosting if I use markers on this side. But I switched from writing these like little letters to having these big stenciled out numbers, which I really liked. It got more text heavy as I went on, but eventually I switched, I'm not sure which page it was, yeah, here it is. Eventually I switched over to using, to doing like calligraphy instead of just my messy chicken scratch handwriting, which is what I normally do, and I think it looks a lot better, honestly. But what's nice about these little inserts in the Traveler's Notebook is I can stick things in them. And because they're so little, they don't bubble up that much. This is like one of my favorite pages. I stuck so much stuff in here from throughout the week. This is when I started putting like stamps in here, and then just like various paraphernalia. Like I went to the movies, I put my movie ticket in here. It was my birthday this week, so I I have a lot of excess like paper goods that I got from leftover from like birthday gifts and stuff. So I'm planning on doing like a journal spread using all that paraphernalia. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know. I'm gonna do it anyway, so like I could always film it. And then this is the current week that I'm on. And once again, I still have this little like bookmark thing. It's just this little robot guy. Ink. This is the first time I've used like straight up stamp ink in this insert, and it does ghost through a little bit, unfortunately. But from the other things I have tried, it really hasn't. So, and the only thing that I've been able to write on this washi tape with has been like Sharpie, because any other thing that I use just kind of smudges and comes off. But I've used Sharpie for this and it works well. And then this is some kind of brush pen that I was using for this, but it's through a stencil, so. And this is what the inserts look like on their own. I'm thinking next year of getting the Hobonichi Tekko, which is pretty much the same format, but in like a book form. But I'm not sure, just because this does tend to billow up. Because like I said before, I like putting stuff in my journals and my planners. So I still have to think about that. But that is the last insert that I have in there. And in here, I keep my stickers. I have a lot of these cute bunny stickers. I think it's called Molang Rabbit or something. But I really like these guys. They're super cute. Then I also keep a scrap piece of paper in here for if I'm doing like ink or stuff. Of course, it never actually bled through, but anyways, and then on this side, oh, this is falling out a little bit. I just have some mixed, like, excess photos and stuff and paraphernalia for later use. And I kept the little cardboard piece that came with it in there just to be able to separate the, like, it doesn't physically separate it, but like just to be able to see what's in here better, if that makes sense. Then I also have a couple stickers on here, and I have another pocket that I've just used for like stickers and like post-it notes and stuff on this side. I put this here mainly because I noticed the interior, I don't know why, but the interior of the back has sort of begun to disintegrate. And I was really disappointed in that because I feel like overall the quality of the Traveler's Notebook has been really nice, but for some reason, this like, I don't know what caused it either, but this like side is sort of starting to disintegrate, and then like here a little bit as well. And I'm not sure what really caused it. It was, you can't really see it now that the this pocket is there, but under here it was really bad. There's just like this, just like this disintegrating leather. But yeah, that is an update on how I have been using this. As you can see, it's pretty beat up. It has been well loved. I do regularly post inserts of this notebook on my Instagram, which is True Mood Productions, as always. But yeah, I'm probably going to switch sketchbooks. I don't know if I'm going to keep the sketchbook insert just sort of in here. But I'm definitely going to continue using it as a journal and a planner. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Traveler's Notebook as much as I do. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!